You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. Be sure to smash that like button. Pleased to have Andre Anthony in studio with us, former Tiger. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. How are you, man?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. It's good to see you. You're with us here on behalf of GoFlow IV Spa. They've been great partners of ours here at 104.5 ESPN for a lot of years as well. So we'll talk about them in a little bit. Man, let me first start with an obvious one. How are you physically, man? I know you had the knee injury, which cost you much of the season. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Rehab has been going great. I'm about like 80% right now. Hopefully by April, May area, I'll be 100, ready to start getting into like football stuff. But everything's been going good. I'm ahead of schedule, so
Good.
It's been going great.
So no combine, obviously. Are you going to work out pro day?
No, I'm not going to do nothing.
Okay.
I don't want to risk injuring nothing or something because it's been a while since I've actually done football drills and stuff like that. So I don't want to risk too much. But I'll definitely be there.
And you were at the Senior Bowl as well, so we'll talk about that in a second. But so when you talk to scouts in this whole pre-draft process, what do scouts tell you about? Obviously, you're rehabbing. I mean, you want to put your best foot forward, but like, what do the scouts say?
My film speaks for itself. One, so that's a good thing. Also, the main thing with them was just my health-wise. When am I at rehab? You know, I'm ahead of schedule, behind schedule. What it look like when, you know, am I going to be ready for camp? You know, and stuff like that. So that's been the main questions, other than asking the regular, you know, scouting questions. But the main thing has been, you know, where am I? Am I going to be ready come, you know, mini camp and rookie camp and stuff like that. So, but it's great conversations. It's been great conversations.
So the injury was against Central Michigan. So that was September, or was it beginning of October?
September, yeah.
So it was early in the season. So, I mean, theoretically, the way that knee injuries heal now, just the way orthopedics are, I mean, like a year removed, and this isn't your first time going through this. So, like, you should be good for the upcoming season.
Oh, yeah, I should definitely be good because you still have spring, I mean, right now, and then you still have summer. So by the time the season comes around, I should be fine. And usually with all the technology, you know, what's crazy has been the ACLs. So a lot of people have been tearing their ACLs and stuff like that. Then the technology with the recovery process and stuff like that has definitely advanced. So, you know, people are coming back quicker, you know, but it's still an injury you don't want to rush. Yeah. Because it can happen again, you know. So you just got to be careful and, you know, patient with it, you know. But it's definitely they say like a 6-month, you know, process, and then probably a month or two after just mentally getting back into the physical and moving, like you're fine, like you're okay. You know.
Like just confidence on the
knee. Exactly. Yeah. And being able to trust it, so.
Andre Anthony's in studio with us on behalf of GoFlow IV and Spa. Your career at LSU is a fascinating one. First of all, not many people stay 6 years. I mean, you're in a very, very small number just on that alone.
Right.
But, man, you saw so much coming in under Les Miles. So you were here for Les, the transition to Ed, the entire Ogeron era, which included a national championship and then, you know, disappointing the last couple of years. COVID, I mean, taking advantage of that 6 year coming back. Have you given yourself any time yet to, like, take the 10,000-foot view and think about your career in total at LSU?
Most
really?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
So what do you see when you go up to 10,000 feet on the plane? You're looking down at your career. What do you see?
Man, it's like, for me, it's been a journey. Like you said, I've seen most everything. So, you know, and then me growing as a player, you know, from a player side, just, you know, being here for so long, but, you know, I had to wait my turn. You know, like I said, I sat behind the Arden Keys, the Caleb Von Chase sons, you know, those guys, Mike Divinity, like those guys who are in the league right now, and watch them, you know. And then when it was my time to, you know, come into myself and take the opportunity, I took the opportunity and ran with it. In the midst of COVID and coming back, you know, this season obviously got injured, you know, was looking forward to having a great season. I started off great. You know, but, you know, and then growing into that leadership role and stuff like that, it's definitely been a process and one that I don't regret. You know, I loved every moment being here, everything that I went through, everything that I've seen and done. You know, it's been a great journey. So,
I was going to ask the question about regret. And most guys say that they don't regret the decisions they make, which is a great way to live life. But you got here in 16 and redshirted, then missed 17 with the injury. And so, I mean, it was really your third year before you were even available.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you persevere through it all, and defensive coordinator changes.
Right.
And role changes from 3-4 to 4-3.
Yeah.
And then 2020 comes, and you lead the team in sacks.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people were surprised that given everything, I know I was, given everything you had been through, that you decided to come back for a sixth year. Why did you decide to come back for a sixth year?
My teammates, my brothers, and then I knew what I could capitalize off of coming off the last year. We only had, 10 games, all SEC games. So just knowing if I came back, knowing what I needed to work on, what I could get better at, I just knew I could have even more greater season instead of, kind of what not so much an average season, but it was like my first year starting. So I still had to come into myself, get used to the speed of the game and stuff like that. And then once I got, used to everything, it just started clicking. Everything just started clicking. Confidence, smarts, intelligence, my IQ on everything. It just started clicking. So that's what, and coming into the season, that's why everything was just so easier for me to, as far as learning and playing it, because I was used to everything.
Yeah. So
it was like a big decision for me to come back to just show, how much I developed as a player coming into that next season, my last season being here. So that's really why I decided to come back.
Another big question I know that we talked about a lot here over your career was, like we talked about, was your role in different defenses. Do you at this point feel like, and I know you got asked this whenever Bo Pelini came in and sort of switched back to a 4-3 and you put your hand in the dirt, do you feel more comfortable like you're better in one of those roles?
I like the 3-4, and I like both of them.
Okay.
With the whole, you just got to adapt and adjust, because now teams in the NFL are running like a lot of multiples, so you got to be able to play everything. But me comfortable, like what I've been playing in for so long, my hand in the dirt is where, as far as like pass rush, is where I make my money. So that's why I feel more comfortable in that. But I still was able to be able to play in a 3-4 Ritteranda. So it's not something that's foreign to me. Like, I know how to do it. I know the coverage aspect and stuff like that. So either one is, I can do both. But I mean, obviously, I would prefer to actually, put my and rush the passer. Of course, that's where the money's at. So
yeah, do you have a favorite game, favorite memory? Like when I say, hey, when I say your LSU career, what's the first game that's going to come to your mind?
It would have been, if you would have asked me this last year, it would have been the Natty.
Okay.
But since I scored my first touchdown at LSU in Tiger Stadium, it would definitely be, by far, that moment right there is definitely one of my. That moment is definitely number one, and then Natty.
Did you? There's a picture of it right there. Did you ever score in high school?
No.
So is that your first?
My teammates was telling me, like, you did score a touchdown, but I don't remember me scoring I think it was the same thing, a fumble, and I scored, but I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember. My teammates, like, that I went to high school with, were telling me, like, you did it in high school, but for some reason, I couldn't remember.
Well, so. I mean, look, those car teams you played on, man, you played on some really good teams. I mean, Coach Brown, we got to know him a little bit here on the show over the years, so there's a pretty good chance that somewhere along the way you might.
I'm pretty sure I did. If they were like, telling me that I was like, you did. I'm like, I don't remember. I don't can't. What a film.
It's so strange though, because like, especially as a lineman, like if you score a touchdown, it's so uncommon. Normally you would think that. I mean, it's the first thing you just made. Like you just mentioned, scoring a touchdown superseded the national championship game in your mind.
It was definitely like, I don't know. It's in Tiger Stadium. You know, it's like, man, like always, like I tell people, like all the time, I feel like I can play running back. So that was my chance to show the world, like, hey, I can play running back. I'm athletic. So. That's why, like, when I was running the ball and the quarterback was I wasn't going down. I don't know how it was going to happen or what was going to go down, but if I trucked him, stiffed him, I wasn't going down. I don't care. I could have just fell on the ball. I was going to scoop and score. Like, nice. I had to. That's all I saw in my mind.
It was a 33-yard fumble return for a score against McNeese earlier this year in Tiger Stadium. Andre Anthony's with us here for a couple more minutes. I want to ask you a few more. Let's talk about GoFlow IV Spa. So when NIL came into play. You did a deal with GoFlow, and we've done a lot. Actually, one of our T-Bob walked out of here a bit ago. I know you saw him, but T-Bob and I did our post-game show. We do it from Don Juan Cigar Bar, and the guys from GoFlow came and gave us IVs during the post-game show. We're sipping whiskey and smoking cigars, and so we did an IV on the show. It was pretty cool. So what's your relationship been like with them?
With Brett, they came and talked to me. Actually, the crazy part, I was looking to get an IV in town, and somebody brought me to them, like mentioned them to me and told them, look, go up there. And I ended up DMing Brett on Instagram. I was like, hey, can I come in and get an IV before the game? And he was like, perfect. I was thinking you were one of the names I was, looking at to start an NIL. So and then from there, we talked and stuff like that. And then it just, we built a great relationship with each other since then. And ever since, like, before games, like me, like Damone, Neil, like a couple of guys with J-Roy, like a couple of guys will go get IVs that Thursday before the game. If we was in town at a home game, probably that Friday. But it's definitely something that helped me, especially like in spring, like when I was going crazy and stuff like that. People saying like my teammates, as far as my teammates, like, man, what you on? I'm like, the IV. I don't know. I don't know. It just, you feel, your body feels different. When you're hydrated, it just feels different. When you're dehydrated, obviously, but when you feel good, you play good. So it definitely helped me, definitely. So
it's goflowiv.com. It's GEAUX, so goflowiv.com if you want to check it out. And they do have mobile IVs as well. Like they will come to you.
They come to you.
They're a great business, man. They really are. So
and then it was a great way to take, like, my main thing coming into like the new season last year, was taking care of my body. Like, I heard from like a lot of the guys, like, the most money you're gonna spend it, like, is on your body. Like, that's where you want most of your money to go. So I was just finding ways to invest in my body and making sure I'm good and healthy. You can't really prevent injuries. They just kind of happen sometimes, but still just making sure I still made my body my temple and just taking care of it. So
that's awesome, man. Couple of more. Have you get to meet Brian Kelly yet?
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts? I mean, transitioning from, look, there's been a lot of turnover, not just on the coaching staff, but like, I don't know if you've walked through football ops. It's just, there's a lot of turnover from coaching staff, support staff. What's been your impression?
It's probably it's a big change. Probably like between G String and like probably like one or two more people is like on the staff that was on the national championship. Everybody else is new faces. Yeah. So it's a whole new atmosphere kind of up there. It's different. I talked to Brian. He's cool. Cool guy. We talked a lot about, the team, like how it was last year and what his expectations are, and I'm not there. I'm just rehabbing there. But, obviously, being that leader last year, just kind of, being a helping hand to the guys and stuff like that. But, yeah, we talked a good bit. And I feel like the plan he has and what he's going to do is going to be good. It's going to be good.
When you see what happened the last 2 years, and maybe this is a better question for you 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, what do you think happened? I mean, you mentioned as a leader, a guy who's got your finger on the pulse team. What do you think happened the last 2 years?
I think it was just a lot. And I say that because after the national championship, we got hit with COVID.
Yeah.
We weren't able to practice. We weren't able to meet, nothing like that. Most of the stuff we did was on Zoom. When we were able to practice, we only had like a week or two of camp. So we haven't been around each other all summer. Everybody's off doing, whatever, because we quarantine. So you had that, trying to get a team. And after just, fast forwarding, going back, we lost, 15, 16 players to the draft?
Yeah.
So you have a brand new team, really.
Yeah.
All your all-stars are gone. So you're trying to, trying to get new players and get that feel back and stuff like that. But we're in quarantine. We can't do none of that. And then when we got Zoom, we had Zoom when that happened. So you had to deal with that. Then when we get back together, you have the whole Black Lives Matter stuff. So you're dealing with that. So it's just like a lot going on. Then the season comes, we only had like 10 games, all SEC games. So like I said, we barely were able to, install. Like, it was still, some stuff was still new to us, because of the COVID situation. And then, like I said, with the whole Black Lives Matter stuff. And then coming off that season, the injuries.
Yeah.
You know, you don't kind of predict that. You think, you know, we're going to be good and stuff like that. But the injuries, there's so many injuries. I mean, we still were able to fight, you know, in some games and stuff like that. But it was just so many injuries. We lost a lot of valuable players who obviously could have helped, you know. So it was just like, I feel like it was a lot going on the last 2 years that, you know, people couldn't expect. Like, nobody expected COVID to hit like that. You know, the whole Black Lives Matter stuff like that. Then you had the opt-outs.
Yeah.
You couldn't, you know, it was just like, it was a lot. It was just a whole bunch of stuff going on. So.
It's definitely a different time in college football, and I think all coaches are learning how to navigate transfer portal, and you mentioned opt-outs and roster and everything, and how to build and maintain amid this. It'll be interesting to see how Brian Kelly does. Well, next stop for you, of course, can be the NFL. You got any preference where you want to go?
I want to go to Saints, of course. I want to.
Dude, I'm so glad you said that. Do you know how many? All right. I've sat in this chair, done this job now for 12 years, and I've been in sports radio since 2007. Yeah. And every single player that I talk to pre-draft, I say, dream scenario, where would you want to go? And every one of them, always, it's a blessing to be in the NFL. I'll go wherever. And it's true. It's absolutely true.
Yeah.
But like, everybody has an allegiance, man. You're a kid from New Orleans. Of course you'd want to go play for the Saints.
Right, and I know, like, for a lot of guys, you know, they probably don't want to say it because they don't want to be like, oh, well, I'm not going to draft him because he wants to be.
Right.
You know, but it's not like, you know, I'm from New Orleans. So, of course, you know, same thing with LSU.
Yeah.
Like, everybody, even, you know, when I was getting recruited, like, everybody knew I wanted to go to LSU, you know. But, I mean, of course, just being in the league would be a blessing. It don't matter where I go, you know. I just want to be able to get an opportunity.
Bro, if Cincinnati or Cleveland or Arizona or Miami or Carolina or anybody drafts you, you're going to be pumped and you'll immediately have allegiance to that, and you're going to be awesome. But that would be so cool to see a New Orleans guy playing for the Saints. Oh, let's do the same thing when they drafted Will Clapp.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, dude, it was so cool. A guy from Brother Martin gets drafted by the Saints, and he's hung around now for a handful of years. It's been awesome to see the Clapper play for the Saints, man. That's awesome.
Always good. Yeah. Always, you know, it's always good to be home. You know,
man.
But sometimes you gotta step out your comfort zone. Sometimes, so, you know, wherever God leads me or wherever I land, you know, I just gotta make the most of my opportunity. You know.
Man, I know a lot of people pulled for you hard during your time in Baton Rouge. Like we said, you went through a lot. You could write a book one day, man, about everything from going through your first game in 2016 during that redshirt year was the game in Lambeau. I mean, that's where your career started when you think about it. I mean, it feels like a completely different universe how long ago that was. Definitely. But you persevered. You're a national champion, and hopefully soon you'll be an NFL draft pick as well. Andre Anthony, y'all follow him on all social media. You're at Dre Anthony 7, Twitter, right?
Twitter, at Dre Anthony 7, and Instagram _ Dre Anthony 7.
_ Dre Anthony 7. So y'all give him a follow. Make sure you give a lot of support to these guys as they're making their way into what's next in life. Man, we appreciate you for stopping by for a few minutes. Shout out to Brett and all the folks over at GoFlow IV Spa as well. Awesome people. Y'all check them out online, goflowiv.com, GEAUX, goflowiv.com. Thanks, man. We're going to keep in touch, all right?
Thank you.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.